Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Holiday Chatline, where every holiday has a voice. I'm Jill, and today we're doing something a little different. If you've watched The Spark of Believing, then you already know my two guests. One believed that confidence could change a classroom. The other believed that structure and measurable results were the surest path to helping students succeed. And somehow, by the end of the story, they discovered they weren't nearly as far apart as they thought. Please welcome Penelope Grant and Principal Walter Sterling. Penelope, Walter, welcome.
Thank you, Jill. I'm very happy to be here.
As am I. Thank you for inviting us.
I have been looking forward to this conversation because viewers saw what happened in Classroom 4B. But today, I want to know what was happening behind the scenes and inside the minds of the two people at the center of it. So let's start at the beginning. Penelope, when you first walked into Classroom 4B, what did you see?
Honestly, a room full of children who had stopped expecting themselves to succeed. They weren't incapable, they weren't lazy, they were discouraged. And once a child begins believing that failure is simply who they are, another worksheet isn't going to change that. I knew we had to begin somewhere else.
And that's where the wall of wins came from?
Exactly. I wanted them to start noticing progress again, not just an A on a test. Maybe you raised your hand when you were nervous. Maybe you helped someone. Maybe you tried something difficult and didn't give up. Those things matter. Small victories have a funny way of becoming bigger ones.
Walter, I noticed you listening very carefully.
I am.
Is that how you saw Classroom 4B at the beginning?
No. I saw declining academic performance, low test scores, incomplete assignments, a pattern that concerned me. Those things were real, and I don't apologize for taking them seriously. What I failed to recognize was what was underneath them.
And that's important, because Walter wasn't wrong about the numbers.
Thank you.
Don't look so surprised.
I'm not surprised.
You're doing the eyebrow thing.
I don't have an eyebrow thing.
Oh, this is going to be a fun interview. Walter, when Penelope began using methods like the wall of wins and turning mistakes into what she called discovery moments, were you worried?
Very.
Very.
I believe I can answer for myself, Ms. Grant.
Sorry.
She is correct. Very. My concern was never that the children were enjoying themselves. My concern was whether they were learning. A school has responsibilities. Children eventually move on to the next grade, the next teacher, the next challenge. Encouragement without preparation would not have served them well.
And Penelope, did you understand his concern at the time?
I just thought he had the order backward. Walter believed achievement would create confidence. I believed confidence would help create achievement.
Walter?
That distinction turned out to be rather important.
Was there one particular moment when you began to think Penelope might be onto something?
There were several, but one stayed with me. A student raised a hand who normally avoided participating. It would have been easy to dismiss that as insignificant. One raised hand does not appear on a standardized assessment. But I watched that student, and I realized how much courage it had taken. Then another child participated, and another. The academic improvement came later. The willingness to try came first.
That's when I knew you were watching.
I was always watching.
No, Walter. You were always observing. That was when you started seeing them.
That's fair.
That may be the shortest argument I've ever moderated. Let's talk about the wall of wins. Penelope, did you ever imagine it would become what it did?
No, and I'm glad I didn't. If I'd planned every card that went on that wall, it wouldn't have belonged to the children. The best part was watching them decide what counted as a win. At first, they thought a win had to be something big. Then we started seeing things like, I asked for help, I didn't quit, I made someone laugh when they were sad, I read out loud today. That's when the wall became theirs.
Walter, you eventually put something on that wall yourself.
Yes,
Today I learned confidence comes before achievement.
I remember.
Was that difficult for you to write?
No, realizing it was more difficult, writing it was simply acknowledging the evidence.
That is possibly the most Walter Sterling answer you could have given.
Thank you.
That wasn't entirely a compliment.
I'll accept the complimentary portion.
All right, I'm going to ask the dangerous question. Who was right?
Neither of us.
And both of us.
Explain that.
Children need encouragement. They need room to make mistakes. They need someone who sees what they're capable of before they can always see it themselves. But they also need structure. They need consistency. They need adults who prepare them for what comes next. Walter reminded me of that.
And Penelope reminded me that structure is supposed to support the child. The child does not exist to support the structure.
That's quite a change from where you started.
I prefer the word adjustment.
Of course you do.
Walter, I promised myself I would conduct a serious interview.
I appreciate that.
But there is something the audience deserves to know. How is your relationship with the beanbag chairs?
Our relationship is professional.
Professional?
They remain on their side of the classroom. I remain on mine.
He walks around them now.
That is called risk management.
So you're maintaining a respectful distance.
Precisely.
Penelope, what did Walter teach you?
That believing in children doesn't mean lowering expectations for them. Actually, sometimes believing in them means raising expectations, and then giving them the support they need to reach them. Walter is very good at seeing where we're going. I tend to focus on where the child is standing right now. Both matter.
Walter, what did Penelope teach you?
That not everything important can be measured immediately. Sometimes progress appears first in posture, a raised hand, a question, a child walking into school without looking at the floor. Those things may not fit neatly into a spreadsheet, but they are data nonetheless.
Walter, did you just call confidence data?
I'm adapting.
Penelope, take the win.
Oh, that's going on the wall.
Now that everything has happened, do the two of you still disagree?
Frequently.
Respectfully.
Usually respectfully.
Usually?
There was the glitter incident.
That was one time.
We found glitter in the faculty lounge 3 weeks later.
Children were being creative.
The coffee maker was being creative.
I'm beginning to understand why the two of you work so well together. Walter, if I had asked you before the Spark of Believing how you measured a successful classroom, what would you have said?
Academic progress, preparedness, consistency, measurable improvement. The whole picture. Is the child participating? Are they curious? Do they recover from mistakes? Do they help others? Do they believe effort can change an outcome? Academic achievement matters, but now I understand that sometimes those other things are what make achievements possible.
Before we finish, I'd like to ask each of you something a little different. If you could say one thing to the person sitting beside you after everything that happened in Classroom 4B, what would it be? Penelope?
Thank you for caring enough to question me. Really, it would have been easier if you had simply agreed with everything I did, but your questions made me think harder about why I was doing it. And when the children needed you, you listened. That mattered.
Walter?
Thank you for reminding me to look beyond the numbers, and for reminding me that sometimes the first evidence of success is simply a child willing to try again.
I'd like to finish with one question for both of you. What do you hope people remember after watching The Spark of Believing?
That children don't need someone constantly telling them they're wonderful. They need people who notice something real in them and help them see it too.
And that expectations and compassion are not opposites. Children deserve both.
That's a pretty good answer, Walter.
I've had an excellent teacher.
Oh, I think we're ending right there. Penelope Grant and Principal Walter Sterling, thank you both for joining me.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you for joining us for another episode of the Holiday Chatline, where every holiday has a voice. And remember, sometimes the biggest victories don't begin with getting the right answer. Sometimes they begin with believing you're worth raising your hand. We'll see you next time.